So Sam Raimi was confirmed to direct Doctor Strange 2 and the Multitude of Madness, and I'm about to give you guys my thoughts. But before I give you guys my thoughts, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below of Sam Raimi directing Doctor Strange and the Multitude of Madness. Do you love this idea? Do you hate it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And also, guys, if you guys like this video, you guys want to see more movie news like this on the channel, please hit that like button. It really will help this channel a ton, and really will help this video get out there into more areas of the world. You guys can also hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Really does help my smaller channel grow out to hopefully be a much more bigger channel. So Sam Raimi is a director that was rumored many months ago after the man who brought us the first Doctor Strange left the company and left this project. So when Sam Raimi was rumored, I was hyped. I was like, he's a great director. Say what you will about Spider-Man 3, but it's not a very good movie. But there's definitely some hints of elements. But Spider-Man 1 and 2 basically brought us the MCU. If it wasn't for those films, I don't think we would be in the superhero genre that we are today. And while those films definitely aren't perfect, they are states of history of bringing the MCU to light. And I think that's really what makes this news that he is now that confirmed perfect. I love Sam Raimi as a director. He can make big action blockbuster films, but also this film's apparently going to have a little bit of horror edge. He can also do that. He's done many horror movies that are apparently pretty great. Again, I haven't seen him, and he's done a lot of things. He's a director who is very versatile. He's very upbeat. He knows how to make not just a grand superhero film, but also a character study. Doctor Strange in the first film was just kind of Tony Stark with magic, and it's not until Infinity War and Endgame that they actually built him up as an actual character in this film. So I feel like if there's any director that actually make him feel like an actual person and you can actually connect and relate to him, it's going to be Sam Raimi. What he did with Spider-Man and made not just Spider-Man really interesting, but also made Peter Parker super interesting. He made him relatable. You get what he's done. So when he does put on the mask and he does do superhero stuff, you understand that he's going to fail. He is human. And I feel like the Sam Raimi can do very much like that with Doctor Strange. But also, Scarlet Witch is confirmed to be in this film as well, along with Doctor Strange. I think Marvel is really understand how to put great characters in the two films and having great characters interact with each other, either comedically, physically, and putting two very powerful, mystical magic characters of Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch in the same film, I think would be great. They've never really, I don't think they've really known to each other, so this could really bring a great kind of fun to the film, a very great pop part. The only problem with Scarlet Witch, Sam Raimi is really great with having really strong female characters in the Spider-Man films, but they were all damsel in distress. They were very strong characters, I'm not saying that, but they were all damsel in distress. That was back in a time where superhero films had needed a damsel in distress. You had your Supermans, you had your Batmans, and now you had your Spider-Mans. X-Men, also the first X-Men had that. So that was back in the time where superhero films had to have a damsel in distress. And the MCU is one of the things that kind of, besides Iron Man 3 and maybe some other films, there's kind of the one where he's really avoided that, and the MCU kind of does that. So I'm not saying he can't make Scarlet Witch a very relatable character, but I hope he doesn't make her, the damsel in distress at the end, and then Doctor Strange has to go save her, because that would just make the character of Scarlet Witch not really. It would make the character feel less and powerful than she already is, and I would not want that, because while I love Scarlet Witch as a character, and I think she's pretty interesting, she hasn't really had that a major movie really what I cared. So the closest I came was maybe in Infinity Wars, Civil War, Endgame was also really close, but I hope Sam Raimi could really bring this character to being super relatable, but also not a damsel in distress that Doctor Strange has to say. This film is also supposed to be a horror film, and as I said, Sam Raimi can really delve in with horror. So that's also interesting. And also, fun fact, the villain of the film, we don't really know who the villain is, but Bruce Campbell, the person who's a massive fan, friends with Sam Raimi, wants to play the villain in this film. Now, Bruce Campbell is an actor. I think he's really great. He was really great in the Sam Raimi cameos. And to actually play a villain, I really know. Besides this, I don't think I've really seen Bruce Campbell really in anything. But I think he could really play that villain if he had that visceral side from it. And he's a really great actor. So for him to play a villain, I just think he might be too high of an actor to be the face of a villain. Normally they pick villains that are kind of sidelined. They are pretty popular villains, but they don't really did much. And why the villain in Doctor Strange 1 wasn't an amazing villain, he wasn't a masterpiece or anything. The villain understood, he had that threat to him because he played a villain. Mads Mikkelsen played the villain before in Casino Royale with the Chief. Bruce Campbell, that I know of, has never really played a villain. I'm not saying he can't do that, but I've just kind of seen him as this kind of fun guy who just kind of shows up once in a while. I've never really seen him in a major role, but if he wants to play the character, I could see that. But really, we don't really know who the villain of Doctor Strange will be. But Sam Raimi also knows how to really not just make a very relatable character, but also make an awesome superhero film. The action sequences, especially in Spider-Man 2. Imagine a sequence like the train fight in Spider-Man 2 in the second Doctor Strange, kind of in the, like, maybe the multiverse and all that stuff could be extremely awesome. And there's so much creative ways to do kind of the multiverse and the whole cosmic side of the MCU. There's so much to do with that and so much stuff to play around with in that toy box. And I think Sam Raimi is a great visual director. He knows how to really make wacky and crazy visuals, but he's such a physically visual director that he can pretty much do a lot of that crazy spectacle and visual effects, stunts and sequences that could really make the action sequences in the first Doctor Strange, I thought were really fun. But besides the city sequence with the mirror dimension, nothing really stood out. And of course, the final fight in reverse. If we had something kind of like that, because Sam Raimi's films, besides the first Spider-Man, have kind of had lackluster final acts. Even Spider-Man 2, I think, have lackluster final acts. But if you really learn from his mistakes, because Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange, had an amazing battle sequence. How about fighting a city in reverse, destroying itself in reverse? It was a super original idea. What I'm hoping, this is really just kind of a little complaint. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 wasn't really his fault. There were some ideas that he had that was completely him, that he's announced that it was him that did that I wasn't a fan of. But it was mostly Sony. Sony wanted Venom. Sony wanted the black suit Spider-Man, and he's like, okay, fine, but then I'm not coming back. And it kind of really sucks that he never got his Spider-Man 4. I'll probably make a video sometimes of what Spider-Man 4 could have been and what I would have liked to see in Spider-Man 4. But it does kind of sucks that he never got to do his Spider-Man 4. So if Kevin Feige in the studio just gets to let him direct however he wants to direct and just make the film however he wants to make it, just let him direct his films and not really get it. So those are my thoughts of Sam Raimi directing Doctor Strange to the Multitude of Madness. So let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Do you like this idea? Do you hate it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, you guys can hit that like button and subscribe and hit that post notification bell so you guys never miss I upload another video. You guys can also check out my podcast I do every single Tuesday morning with a friend of mine. It's called the 2 Peas in a Pod podcast. You guys can also check out my Instagram, my General_Daniel77. Thanks for